Hi everyone, my name is Marsya Azmi and I'm a third-year psychology student. Today I'm presenting my summer research that I did as a student research assistant at Calgary Counselling Centre, or CCC. This is the importance of depression screening in non-clinical samples, examining suicidality outside of a treatment-seeking population. First, what is suicidality? Suicidality is the risk of suicide and includes thoughts or intentions. It's important to understand because it can lead to early detection and prevention of suicide, and it's one of the strongest predictors. The general goal of the study is to examine how suicidality differs between clinical and non-clinical groups, that is, those who are in treatment and those who aren't. There are three main objectives of the study: to compare the rates of suicidality across clinical and non-clinical groups, to examine suicidality beyond clinical settings and across varying levels of distress, and to examine the likelihood of suicidality across clinical and non-clinical groups. This project is rooted in suicide, as it's one of the leading causes of death for many individuals. However, existing research is limited and suggests that it's uncommon in those who aren't in treatment. This study aims to provide further research by directly comparing clinical and non-clinical groups and challenges the assumption that suicidality is limited to treatment-seeking populations. This study used archival data from National Depression Screening Day, an annual survey released to the public by CCC that allows people to screen themselves for symptoms of depression. The non-clinical group consists of these NDSD participants. The clinical group consists of clients that currently receive counseling and fill out an outcome questionnaire before each session. To compare levels of distress, I divided participants into high and low distress groups based on their scores, which were determined by the OQ manual and the Harvard National Depression Screening Scale, or HANS, which outlines the thresholds for clinical distress. Together, there were over 240,000 participants with an average age of 36.2 years. Each dataset included a suicidality item that was answered as yes or no, and I compiled and analyzed these responses using both comparative methods and predictive methods in RStudio. First, I compared the rates of suicidality between those not in treatment and those who are. These are the distress groupings on HANS or OQ scores. I found that high distress individuals who were not in treatment had an 11% higher rate of high distress individuals in treatment. This suggests that some of the most distressed people in the general population are not in therapy, yet they're experiencing higher levels of suicidal thoughts. Next, I examined suicidality across varying levels of distress. Since the OQ and HANS scores are different, I used the OQ score cutoffs ranging from low distress to high distress to see where the rate of suicidality for non-clinical groups would match up. Recall that that rate is 35%, and these are the OQ score cutoffs that I used. The results show that this 35% rate actually matched with an OQ score range of 103 to 105, where individuals in treatment showed similar rates. This means that highly distressed people outside of treatment experience distress that is the same as moderately high distress individuals who receive treatment. Finally, for Objective 3, I examined the likelihood of reporting suicidality. The findings showed that high distress individuals who are not in treatment were the most likely to report suicidality, and high distress individuals in treatment were actually 41% less likely to report compared to them. This raises concerns about individuals outside of treatment settings and that are suffering and in need of professional care. There are four main conclusions to this study. First, high distress individuals not in treatment report higher suicidality rates than those in treatment. High distress individuals not in treatment also experience the same level of moderately high distress as individuals in treatment. These high distress individuals not in treatment are the most likely to report suicidality. And finally, suicidality is present in non-clinical populations, emphasizing the importance of depression screening tools like NDSD and challenging the assumption that suicidality is limited to treatment-seeking populations. These are the references that I've used for this presentation. I'd like to also thank Calgary Counseling Centre for allowing me to conduct this project as part of my summer internship. Thank you as well to my direct supervisors and the symposium organizers for this opportunity. And thank you all for listening.